The fight between Martin Bakole and Joseph Parker has truly proved to be a massive one, and here are some of the prominent reactions from the industry experts.
Great punch. Bakole had his hands down and he just took a last-minute fight. I wouldn't have took a last-minute fight like that. I would have been prepared for this fight.
Martin Bakole obviously coming in on very short notice. Did you expect that tonight, or did you expect Bakole to go longer?
I didn't expect that. It was a one punch. The corner stopped the fight. I know Bakole didn't want that fight stopped.
Joseph Parker now, we don't know if he's going to have that fight with Daniel Dubois, if Dubois goes into an Usyk rematch next. What do you want to see?
I want to see that fight. I think it's going to be a great fight.
Parker Dubois?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a great fight.
Joseph Parker wiped out boxers Martin Bakole in 2 rounds. You must be happy.
Good job, didn't he? Done it in style, absolute style.
Did you expect that to happen?
I did fancy him to win. I said, again, I was asked what I felt.
No, but in 2 rounds?
No, but I felt he would stop him, and I felt it'd be I don't know. Look, Martin Bakole, I don't want to be disrespectful. Everyone bangs on about he's this monster, he's this monster, and I've said before the fight, I haven't seen that yet in a fight. And he's a big man, and you could see how dangerous he is. He's a big punch, but Joe just kept his composure and went about his business the right way, and done what he had to do.
Yeah, it's what we kind of expected. Bakole hadn't been training straight off the plane all day, but he did what he needed to do.
You say that, but I heard a lot of people online as well, fans saying, I think...
In terms of behind the scenes of boxing, you know what it is, but good, well done, he did it. Because Bakole could have caused upset, but he did what he had to do and he didn't get it.
You were ready to step in, yeah?
Yeah, we already agreed, it was all done, but obviously Bakole and Parker's a great fight, so that's the one that they decided to go with, or Parker's team decided to go with.
Don't rush the ring.
There goes Bakole!
Yeah.
Woo!
Whoa.
The whole arena shook when he went down.
Wow.
It's over. This fight's over. It was one shot, one right hand. I didn't like the spots where Parker was trading up because, and all of a sudden, maybe Parker felt the power and the strength and thought, you know what, I can't just let this guy keep walking me down. I've got to hold my feet here.
He's just edging it because look at Parker today. He's gone in there and knocked out Bakole. And if it gets tough, I want to see. I've seen it from Dubois. He's managed to come through against Baby Miller and Hergovich. And with Parker, he's gone in there and just blasted out Bakole. So it would have been nice to see a bit more, to see what his engine's like in the later rounds and how much grit he's got. But he went in there and done what we all want as heavyweights, and he knocked him out. So for me, from what I've seen, I'm going to go with Dubois due to the fact I've seen a little bit more grit and he's had to dig a little bit deeper. And why I say this is because I think the fight's going to be a 50-50 fight between the two.
What did you think of Parker's win?
Listen, Parker prepared for this fight, yeah? Bakole, I think no. Okay.
You should have. You should 1 round, 2. Yeah. I had Bakole going to win by knockout.
You did say that last time.
Yeah, but someone had to go on somebody's side. Understand? So.
I mean, Lawrence Bakole just said to me, we should have actually expected that because he's not been training Martin Bakole. Is that fair or?
Listen, he came, he got paid. He made more money than anybody else in less than 4 minutes.
It's quite a flex, to be fair.
Quite a flex. So he got paid, he came, and I'm happy for him, he got paid. You understand? If the fight went on longer, it would have been more harder for him. But you know what? Good shout out to his corner, just pull him out.
Derek, just lastly, I don't know what's going to go on with this Usyk Dubois rematch situation, where that leaves Joseph Parker. Would you do a trilogy with Joseph Parker?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Well, listen, Martin got offered the fight at 7 o'clock Thursday night, and it accepted the fight. It was life-changing money for him.
Yeah.
And they accepted the fight, even though they hadn't sparred since August. But we can't use that as an excuse. When you say yes, you know the risks.
Yeah.
And Martin was in that fight until I get clipped with it, and I wasn't happy with the action. when he went down, well, basically when he got off from the knockdown, and I stopped the fight, and I'm comfortable with it.
Yeah. The shocking news that came in: Daniel Dubois, who was set to face Joseph Parker, has been pulled from the fight due to his ongoing illness. In a stunning turn of events, Martin Bakole had stepped in as a replacement at lightning speed, leaving everyone in complete shock. Before the bout, Joseph Parker reacted calmly to the announcement of Daniel Dubois pulling out. While the news caught many by surprise, Parker exuded confidence, emphasizing his ability to quickly adapt to the change. He also took a moment to wish Dubois a swift and steady recovery, showing support and respect for his well-being.
Things happen in life, not just boxing, in life. You got to adapt, you got to adjust, and you got to go forward no matter what. So I want to go forward, and hopefully he recovers and gets better soon.
The fighters hadn't even left the dais when it was revealed that Joseph Parker would now face the dangerous heavyweight Martin Bakole instead. Bakole, who flew in on short notice from the Congo for Saturday's highly anticipated heavyweight clash, truly made more waves than expected ever. His promoter Ben Shalom revealed how the deal was made, pointing out that initially when the news of Daniel Dubois' sickness came out, he perceived it as a stunt.
You know what? I was on my way to the press conference and I saw the Ring magazine tweet that we all saw about an illness. I thought it was a joke, or not a joke. I thought it was a stunt. I thought I'd never seen a might be ill, and so obviously they were keeping us updated. But at that point, I spoke to Martin's team just as I got to the press conference, and they said an absolutely 100% go and get us that fight. So I'm thinking, fucking hell. I text His Excellency whilst I'm up there. We're back and forth. I couldn't concentrate on the press conference because by then I'm thinking, I got to get this done.
Amidst the growing controversy surrounding claims of Daniel Dubois ducking Joseph Parker, Spencer Brown stepped forward to clear the air following the fight announcement. He firmly stated his belief that Daniel would never duck anyone. Brown then went on to highlight the illness that Daniel has been battling, emphasizing the seriousness of the situation and why he was forced to withdraw from the fight.
I'm glad you said that, because there are people with conspiracy theories saying he's bottled it. And
Daniel Dubois ain't gonna duck with nobody, is he? He's a tough, rough boy who, who doesn't, these big fights don't come around that often. Once or twice a year, and he's not going to go down. But he's not the only one. There's a few people who've gone down with this flu-like thing. So,
Reacting to the shocking news of Daniel Dubois pulling out and Martin Bakole stepping in, Johnny Nelson reflected on the whirlwind of events surrounding the change. He went on to emphasize the significance of Bakole's selection, highlighting that he's an exceptional fighter who has often been avoided in the heavyweight division.
The banana skin slips in. Yeah. Josie Parker against Daniel Dubois, and you were guesstimating how that fight would go, and we're all thinking this could happen, that could happen. Daniel Dubois, we saw him yesterday, walked down, looked in good health. This virus or whatever it is he's got has come on this afternoon, so he's out. Yeah. So now we're thinking, who are they going to slip in? So one of the two fighters were suggested, and when one of the two fighters were just, I'm thinking, man, that's not right. Yeah. That's not right. But then I thought, why not Martin Bakole? Martin Bakole is a top 10 heavyweight. Why is nobody mentioning his name? Martin Bakole is the only heavyweight that I know has shouted from the rooftops about all the other heavyweights he's knocked out, or knocked down, or body shot, or broke their nose, or done whatever. And not one of those heavyweights has said he's lying. He's lying. He's not saying it. He's one of the most avoided heavyweights going.
Echoing Johnny Nelson's sentiment, Joseph Parker shared his thoughts on facing Martin Bakole. He acknowledged that Bakole has often been avoided in the past, but this time he's fully ready for the challenge. Parker emphasized that Bakole is a beast of a fighter, but he's prepared to take him on.
Martin Bakole, he's a beast of a fighter, and I'm looking forward to challenging myself against Martin Bakole, who's been avoided, and let's get it on.
Ben Shalom stressed the importance of giving Martin Bakole credit for stepping up without hesitation to fight Joseph Parker. He highlighted that although they had initially considered a fight in May, Bakole agreed to take the fight this coming Saturday, proving his readiness to adapt to any situation. Shalom informed reporters that while Bakole has not yet arrived and is still in the Congo, he is fully prepared to face Joseph Parker on Saturday night.
Look, I think a lot of credit has to go to Martin Bakole because there's no other heavyweight or no other fighter, but definitely no other top 10 heavyweight that would operate like this. He's in the Congo right now. He's not even thinking about a fight right now. I was trying to get him in the gym for May the 2nd, or I shouldn't say the date, but early May. And he's just decided, no hesitation, that he wants this fight on Saturday night. We looked at the flights before I put it to Turkey. We found the flight. We can do it, and there's a lot to get through. We've got to get through the medicals, we've got to speak to the governing bodies, but the fight has been agreed.
Eddie Atlas reacted to the unexpected news with surprise, quickly putting Martin Bakole's fighting ability into perspective. He highlighted Bakole's impressive attributes and recalled his fierce fight with Anderson, which proved just how dangerous Bakole can be. Atlas emphasized that with Bakole now set to face Joseph Parker, the stakes are high and the excitement surrounding the match is undeniable.
Dangerous guy. You talk about, you would be disappointed. The air would be out of the balloon when you had such a great fight with Parker and Dubois, that all of a sudden now it's going to be a downer. Guess what? It's an up again. It's up again because of who the replacement is. A guy that is just as dangerous, or at least in that neighborhood, but I'm going to say just as dangerous as Parker. So where you get deflated, and you were ready to, just all of a sudden you're like, oh. It's there, because usually that doesn't happen. On most cards, the replacement would be a lot safer level, and not here. As something you might make an argument in some cases that the guy's hungrier, the guy, and we know how he can punch. We know what he did, to Anderson. That you might say is even more dangerous.
Meanwhile, Johnny Nelson expressed his surprise upon hearing that Martin Bakole had been chosen as Joseph Parker's opponent. He went on to praise Turki Alalshik for arranging a fight that fans have been eagerly anticipating. Nelson pointed out the difference in preparation time. Joseph Parker had ample time to get ready, while Martin Bakole stepped in on short notice. However, he emphasized that this is exactly what makes Bakole a true boogeyman in the heavyweight division.
This is going to turn out. Bakole's in there. I actually don't believe that when on the stage just there, Joseph Parker knew Bakole was picked. I don't believe Frank Warren or even Ben Shalom knew. But I know that Turkey loves Martin Bakole. He's saying, this fight's happening. This guy's putting his hand up. This is one of the biggest bills in the world, so I want the best. And it's going to happen. So now he's giving the fans exactly what they want. So good on him, because if it wasn't Martin Bakole, it'd be shame on everybody else for not giving Martin Bakole the opportunity, because he's the guy, a top 10 heavyweight, that's willing to step in at short notice and do this. So now you're thinking, well, who's it fair on? It's fair on everybody, because he's a danger man. Joseph Parker's had weeks to prepare for this night. Martin Bakole hasn't. So that balances it out, regardless how much of a bogeyman it is. I think it makes this build brilliant.
Before the fight, Eddie Hearn favored Joseph Parker, asserting that the key question was how in shape Martin Bakole truly is. While he leaned towards Parker, Hearn also acknowledged the danger posed by Bakole, hinting that he could present a significant challenge for Joseph Parker in the ring.
Look, I think having seen Bakole and in the last few days, and he's not always the fittest, and obviously he's not in camp, you'd have to favour Joseph Parker. But Bakole's very dangerous, especially early in the fight, and he's one of those guys that might look terribly out of shape, but finds a way to actually have a good engine for 12 rounds. So if he has that engine, he'll be very dangerous. But I do favour Joseph Parker.
Ade Oladipo also expressed his astonishment at the news of the replacement. After Martin Bakole was set to face Joseph Parker, Ade believed Bakole was a level below Dubois. He drew a clear comparison between Daniel Dubois and Martin Bakole, pointing out the difference in skill levels between the two.
That has to be the greatest last-minute replacement in recent memory, maybe ever. Honestly, maybe ever. Names that were being bandied about. I mean, there were some good names, don't get me wrong. Like Lawrence Okole's name was brought up, David Adelaide's name was brought up, Dillian White's name was brought up, Joe Joyce's name was brought up. And look, for 2 days' notice, they're all solid names. All of them are solid names for 2 days. Martin Bakole, I didn't even bring his name up because I thought there's no way on this earth that Andy Lee and Joseph Parker are going to accept fighting Martin Bakole on 2 days' notice. I just thought there's no way. I mean, Martin Bakole is considered a bit of a boogeyman, or at least I give him that tag. You're not going to fight Martin Bakole when you've been training for a Daniel Dubois. Like, Martin Bakole and Daniel Dubois might be like that. Obviously, Daniel Dubois is the champion, and Daniel Dubois' run of recent results puts him ahead of Martin Bakole, but Martin Bakole is right up there. Martin Bakole is a top 6, top 7 heavyweight. You're not going to fight Martin Bakole in a couple of days' notice. What normally happens is you normally don't fight, or you fight someone a few levels below. And again, no disrespect to those guys, Adelaide, Lawrence Okole, they're a few levels below. That's what normally happens.
Ade was firm in his belief that Martin Bakole was not the right matchup for Joseph Parker, and he didn't expect the fight to happen. He went on to criticize Parker for choosing to fight someone of lesser stature, deeming it an attempt by Joseph to stay on the card while lowering his fighting standards.
Again, Bakole was so far from my mind, I didn't even bring it up. Like, I think we all brought it up as a joke. Like, what about Bakole? And we kind of all laughed, like, yeah, whatever. He ain't gonna fight Bakole. And that's not saying that Joseph Parker is in any way, shape or form scared of Bakole, but why risk it? Like, why risk fighting Bakole when you had a world title shot there? It's there. I mean, you fight someone of a lesser stature just to stay on the card. You then get to fight Dubois maybe on the Canelo card. Who knows, right? Maybe. Bakole didn't make any sense to me, and then it got announced that it's Martin.
Ade Oladipo viewed Martin Bakole stepping in as a significant threat. He suggested that the fight would be a risky move for Bakole, considering the trajectory of his professional career. Despite this, Oladipo went on to commend both Martin Bakole and His Excellency Turki Alalshik for making the fight happen, recognizing the boldness and effort involved. He also went on to give Joseph Parker some advice on how to face Martin Bakole in this fight.
If you're Joseph Parker, you use your legs, you run, you move, you don't engage. Don't even risk it. I actually think this is risky for Martin Bakole. Martin Bakole was on this trajectory, right? I mean, there's all this talk about him fighting AJ. He was on this trajectory. If he beat F.A. Jagba, what was promised next was a big one, whether it be the winner of Dubois Parker, the loser of Dubois Parker, the winner of Jean Cabial. You lose this one and you get stopped. It kind of derails you a little bit. It does. So credit to Martin Bakole, credit to His Excellency. Because again, he could have gone for something lesser here. I mean, Martin Bakole is going to get paid. He could have gone for something lesser. He's like, no, I still want to keep together this fight card intact. It's the greatest fight card ever. Who is the biggest name I can get that makes sense? And the biggest name outside of AJ and Fury is Martin Bakole. Martin Bakole. So look, credit to everyone.
British-Irish former professional boxer Matthew Macklin also weighed in on the potential fight between Joseph Parker and Martin Bakole. He expressed concerns about whether Bakole would be in top shape for the fight. Macklin highlighted Bakole's fighting skills, which could pose a real threat to Joseph Parker. However, he confidently stated that since Parker is in peak condition, he would be able to handle the challenge on fight night.
I mean, it's a great fight, depending on what shape Bakole's in. You know, he's a nightmare opponent. He throws loads of punches. He's really strong. You know what I mean? He'll be backing Parker up. But Parker's obviously in tip-top shape. He's preparing to fight the fight. We don't know what kind of shape Bakole's in.
Adam Smith also reacted to the news, praising His Excellency Turki Alalshik for arranging such an impressive replacement. He acknowledged that Martin Bakole wasn't fully fit yet, but commended him highly for stepping up to fight Joseph Parker on Saturday, showcasing his courage and determination despite the circumstances.
And His Excellency makes the fight in minutes. It's astonishing. There was names like David Adelaide, Lawrence Bakole being banded around, but it is Bakole, and I think Bakole is a massive replacement and a fantastic one at 48 hours notice. He's only 60% fit, that's what Billy Nelson's saying, but he's ready to rumble Saturday night.
Frank Smith of Matchroom Boxing also shared his surprising take on the short notice replacement. He emphasized that the world of boxing always has a way of surprising everyone, and this situation is no different. Smith praised Joseph Parker for accepting the challenge to fight Martin Bakole, and also gave due respect to Bakole for stepping in as the new opponent for Parker.
Look, boxing never ceases to surprise anyone, does it? One of the maddest sports in the world, but that's why we all love it. What a fight, what a replacement. Happy for Joe Parker because he's a great guy and he deserves, you know, when you've trained that long, he deserves the opportunity. Fair play Martin Bakole for stepping up at late notice. But, you know, all credit really to Joseph Parker as well, because, you know, everyone talks about Martin Bakole as the bogeyman of the division. Well, look at that, he's going straight in there.
Adam Smith went on to highlight the key factor that paved the way for Martin Bakole to get this opportunity. He regarded it as a highly valuable chance for Bakole to fight Joseph Parker on the Riyadh season card. While appreciating Turki Alalshik's decision to give Bakole this shot, Smith also gave a shout out to Joseph Parker for accepting the challenge and picking this fight, showing his willingness to take on a tough challenge.
Martin Bakole impressed His Excellency in America, what he did to Jared Anderson. And guess what? I think Turkey thought, I've got to have a big name so this card remains the best card ever. I want Martin Bakole, and Martin Bakole got it. And I think it was as quick as that. I think it's terrific he's taken the opportunity. He's the most avoided heavyweight out there. He was planning for a fight in May. Obviously, it's weeks before. He's not going to be in fight shape, but he is a dangerous heavyweight, come what may. It's an opportunity he can't turn down. Ben Shalom was crying out for it on TalkSport. We were, Spencer Oliver and I, and it has been made. And do you know what? Hats off to Turki Al-Sheikh. Hats off to Joe Parker for taking this at this short notice.
Adam Smith analyzed the upcoming fight, breaking down his perspective on how it could play out. He pointed out that with the difference in preparation time between the two fighters, it could still turn into a thrilling matchup. Smith also shared his thoughts on how a win for Bakole in this fight could elevate his career, potentially opening doors to bigger opportunities and further establishing him as a serious contender in the heavyweight division.
It's because if you thought Parker Bakole in a 3-month build-up, you probably think Bakole's the favourite. This time around is Parker. It's a fascinating situation, and I do genuinely think Joe Parker's a superstar for taking the challenge, a different challenge, having prepared so diligently for Daniel Dubois. It's absolutely amazing. And for Martin Bakole, it's a terrific chance on an amazing night. And if he wins, wow! I mean, he's right at the top of the tree, isn't he? Banging on that Dubois and Usyk door.
Echoing Adam Smith's concerns, Teddy Atlas went on to evaluate how the sudden replacement might affect Joseph Parker's style. He saw it as an advantage for Parker, strongly believing that with Andy Lee's guidance, Parker would be able to make the necessary adjustments with ease.
A lot of people always look at the guy that is really being hindered, the guy that is on the negative side of an equation like this when there's a last minute replacement. It's the guy who's replacing at the last minute, because how much time did he have? Was he in the gym? You know, what kind of shape's he in? You know, he had no time to prepare. You know, is he ready? So everyone thinks that that's the side that is in the most peril. But we forget sometimes the guy that had full-time preparation had a 2-month camp or maybe more. He was prepared for one specific, what you just said, one specific side. In some ways, it's an advantage to the other guy if he's in shape, because he wasn't prepared for no style. So he's not locked into one style. Parker, to your point, Parker has been in for the last 2 months in camp or whatever it's been. He's been locked into one style preparation. Yeah, they got to adjust.
Scottish heavyweight Nick Campbell, who has shared training camps and sparred hundreds of rounds with both Joseph Parker and Martin Bakole, offered his opinion on the fight. He suggested that with two top fighters facing off, it was sure to be a thrilling, intense battle.
The other guy that logically deserved to be involved in the fight. It's the greatest card ever put on. Agit Kabayel and Jili Zhang are locked in to fight one another. So outside of those two guys and Joe Dubois, Martin's the only other guy that can really step in and fill the void. I had heard another couple of names banded round, all great fighters, but none of them top 5 in the world in my opinion. Martin and Joe, I think, outside of Usyk, are the two best heavyweights in the division. I think Joe would have beat Dubois. And yeah, they were always going to have to fight sometime anyway. Realistically, you know, Martin was going to win his fight in May against the Jaguar, and he was going to be the IBF mandatory anyway. So it's just a funny circumstance for it all to come to fruition. But listen, fortune favours the brave. Cometh the man, cometh the hour, and or cometh the hour, cometh the man, and I think, yeah, but Martin fancies himself, Joe fancies himself. It's a hell of a fight.
Nick Campbell didn't offer a direct prediction, but leaned towards Joseph Parker, noting that Parker has had ample time to prepare, while Martin Bakole is stepping in on just 24 hours notice. He asserted that if Parker could take control in the first 6 rounds, he could have a strong chance of winning the fight.
Yeah, listen, I'd say if you're I'm not going to give you a prediction because I'm very close to both camps. Obviously, Joe's a real good friend of mine, Martin's a friend of mine, so I'm not going to give you a prediction, but what I will say is it's 60-40 in Joe's favour. Given the fact that you've just, you know, alluded to, Joe's had the last 12 months preparing for this fight on February 22nd. Martin was in the Congo until 24 hours ago, I think. So he's not really had the right preparation for a fight of this magnitude. However, Billy really backs him. Martin backs himself. I think.
No, he throws it.
But I think that if Joe can navigate the first 6 rounds, he gives himself a great chance getting the job done in a wide points decision.
Nick Campbell went on to analyze how the fight might unfold, predicting a win for Joseph Parker. He emphasized that the first 6 rounds would be crucial for Martin Bakole's performance. However, after that, given the difference in weight and fitness levels, Campbell believes the fight could shift in Parker's favor, with the match likely playing out in Joe's hands.
And that's how I see it. I think the first 6 rounds are very dangerous. That's when Martin's going to be, firing on all cylinders. But once it goes past 6, the weight that he's carrying and the fitness side of things are really going to come into the fight. And I think that it will start to play into Joe's hands the longer it goes.
And that's a wrap on the whirlwind of surprises in the heavyweight division. With Martin Bakole stepping in on short notice to face Joseph Parker, the stakes were higher than ever. What a battle it was! Did Bakole rise to the challenge, or did Parker prove his dominance? Either way, it was a fight for the history books. Make sure to hit that like button, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more action-packed updates. Until next time, the heavyweight division just got a whole lot more interesting.